shooting the shit. Yeah, we're talking that talk. Real life stories every time that we walk. From the grind to the wins. Yeah, we keeping it lit. Welcome to the show where we shooting the shit. We just in again.
What up, you guys? We are back again with another episode of Shooting the Shit. This is CC. Got my boy over here, Jacob. And we have a special guest today.
David, baby.
There it is.
I'm the brother. I'm the brother of ours.
Yeah, this is our older brother right here. So what you been up to, bro? What's up?
Just traveling. Coming to do this 6-month reunion / yearly reunion. When we all link up and spend time with each other and shoot the shit, and that's all we doing. Same thing. That's all. It's just hotter this time than it was the last time.
Man.
He is very hot. I can't keep doing this. But it's a different state. It's a different state than I was last year. I was in Mississippi, but this year I'm in Louisiana.
Yep.
And we also have Mr. J Cup on here. So what you been
out
up to since we been last talking to each other?
Man, a whole fucking lot of working. Been a whole lot of working going on, man. Trying to get to the millions, and y'all already see the post, man. This shit don't stop. Getting ready for season 2. Season 2 already in the making, man. We about to make it big, bigger than it ever been. Remember 1,000 years. Yeah.
So, bro, how's Houston? How's everything going down in Houston? Because you've been there
Since forever.
Yeah, I remember when you had moved down there. It was, I think I was in high school. As soon as you graduated, I think it was like 2 days later.
I gave them a year. I hit Houston in like 05, and I can tell you it is hotter now than it was back then. Guarantee you. I tell people all the time, I say it is so hot in Houston that you can look at somebody's facial expression and tell they've been cussing because it's so hot outside. But overall it's been nice. You get all walks of life, you get to meet different type of people. We are currently hosting a couple of games with the World Cup. Seeing people from all over the world want to traffic ranch back to their home country has been an eye-opening deal. They are impressed by our portion sizes. They don't understand tipper culture, but that's a different subject. But it's one thing about that type of area. It's always something going on. So it's always an exciting time if you can get the weather to cooperate with you.
Yeah.
So
you said not the Houston, but you said the World Cup is in Houston.
The World Cup has had some matches in Houston.
Okay.
If I'm not mistaken, they had an Argentina game played a couple of days ago. Something like that. So they have a cult following of audiences and fans that follow from a world perspective.
So people from out of the
these people have flown in. These people are supporting their country. They do this thing where they have a walk. Like you can see on. They have a clip of Bosnia walking through Inglewood, which I thought was eye-opening because I've been to Inglewood and it doesn't look like the type of place you can just walk through freely. It looks like the people at the time in Inglewood were looking like, you know what, we're gonna all stay inside and let them walk by. So it's been an eye-opening experience to see other cultures come to the country and adapt to the different things that we're used to. Like I said. The whole thing with ranch and condiments, portion sizes, free refills. One dude was like mind blown, drunk like 5 Cokes because he can get free refills. So it's an exciting time. Houston is one of those places that they kind of always has some type of buzz going on.
Yeah.
Even if it's it's something going on.
I was say because when I had went down there a couple of years ago, I had went on a Friday and came back home a Sunday, and they was like, "Y'all ain't seen, what I'm saying? When you in Houston, you gotta take a whole week off because there's so much stuff to do down there."
Yes,
and it's like so many,
Sunday is the day that people think that Friday is. They call it Sunday Fun Day. Like it is everything you think it is and more. Like Steve Smith say, kind of like a buffet. But you have happy hours. You have events starting at like 11 to 12. They don't end till about 2, 3 the next morning. Like it's places you can go. You can have brunch. After that, you have this spot. You get up. This spot you get up. It go all the way into the late night. Like I say, into the next morning. Like I tell people sometimes, I like Sunday Fun Day, not Sunday night Fun Day night. But you get your good 3 hours out there in the elements, and you come back home, rein it in. But like I say, Houston always got something going on. They always have something going on.
So we know that we all from like Mississippi, and that was part of it. Like, how was that like the transition from that to that?
The thing that helped me out a lot was the fact that when I was younger, I would go during the summertime. So as a kid, the transition was normal because it was like kind of like what we do every 6 months where we all meet up and we enjoy each other's time. We cook and spend time with each other. Mm-hmm. So a lot of the times where I would be used to going every summer, when you get older, you start to understand the topologies, the regions, stuff like that, how the traffic goes, the interstates, the loop, stuff like that. So you start to understand what makes the city throughout time. So by the time I was able to actually move there and start to live there, a lot of stuff was so familiar with me because I had already seen it. Mm-hmm. So once I got a car, that's when everything went to the moon because it's like, now I can go wherever I want to go. Yeah. So in that, me being able to work at different companies at different sides of Houston, it allows you to explore that area, which is very important because it's mind-boggling as it was. I would have people that have lived in Houston their whole lives ask me how to get to the Galleria.
It's crazy.
It's crazy. And it's like, bro, you just take 610, exit right here. There you go. But you can't really fault them because Houston is so big that you could live in a corner of the city and you would never have to leave that community. Yeah. Mm-hmm. So you kind of understand how people look at things from a geographical standpoint of I don't ever have to go there because I have everything I have here. And that's one of the advantages / disadvantages. That's why everywhere in Houston takes about an hour to get there because it's so big that it takes you a ways to get to the other side of town where that particular thing is going. So that's one of the pros / cons, but that's one of the reasons why it is such a popular city that people gravitate to.
I ain't gonna lie, I tell you, man, I be catching hell this little traffic down here, especially when you gotta go to the bathroom, man, take a good shit. Bro, I done been on that road, man, felt like I was about to pass out, and that was the true story.
I ain't gonna lie, because Cook was on the phone with me, and I was like, I think I was low on gas. I was like, man, I'm just trying to make it home. I was 0 miles. I said, Cook, you think I'm gonna make it home? Man, Say, you need to, you know what I'm saying? I was like, you know what? I said, I'm about to put this $3 on the gas, and I'm about to see if I can make it home. Guess what? I made it straight to the house.
Straight to the house.
Look, she was shaking.
When it stops going from numbers to like that blank nine, like, hey man, you're running the reserve tank at that point, bro.
I always remember because my supervisor, my ex-supervisor, he was like, you got at least 15 miles to go before you run out of gas.
Man, stop listening to that nigga.
And they worked with me. And I was like, look, I still got 15 miles.
Nah, you 15 miles are created equal now.
Man, you should never told her that bullshit.
Yeah, I swear.
You need to go reassess your shit.
Look, if I don't feel like getting no gas, I'll be like, no, I can wait till tomorrow.
Man, put your goddamn gas in.
She got to start negotiating with the car. So.
You gonna make it there, baby. You alright.
Like I know you know me.
Just like you did the last time. Remember the last time? It's a problem when you start recollecting with the car and stuff.
Like you gotta sit there massage it a little bit.
Like you remember Thursday, September the 15th, we were straight in this situation. I needed you.
We was good, man. We was good. We was straight.
I needed you in this situation. And you came through for me.
I had to talk to you a little bit. Look.
You did the car tell you, yeah, gas wasn't as high as it was back
Right.
then. You know,
Man, and I'm gonna tell you, man, Mama be running, man. Mama run with some crazy stories, bro. Mama, I told Mama, I was like, I just got the car fixed yesterday. She was like, oh, look at you, baby. Look, she needed her daddy. I'm like, Mama, come on now, man.
Like,
Mama,
somebody give him a gold star.
What you think? I had sex with a Tesla, made a Ram. Shout out to Mama, man, who thought that shit right
For
there.
real.
I had sex with a Tesla and I made a Ram. Shout out to her.
She
gonna run it.
Was like, maybe you just need to trade it in.
Trade it in?
Like it's a Ken Griffey baseball card.
Just trade it in, cut.
How hard it is now to get a good car and vehicle and make no less than what you paying.
For real. As soon as he pull out the parking lot, check engine light come on.
Man, I'm right back on that one, man.
Here we go again.
Yeah, man.
I don't know who these people are that work on this car. The little report I had, I just traded that one in.
So, like, as far as like what's going on with you, like right now, like what you into? I know you was into as far as like networking.
Yeah, I've been studying networking for about 2 years. I'm still trying to get my CCNP, which is like your Cisco Certified Network Professional. So it's exciting. It can be a headache at times, but it's one of those things to where like you challenge yourself and you like the results you get when you put the time in. Certain things you feel like, okay, this is something I'm never gonna forget because it can never be taken away from me. And that's one of the good things about networking. The one thing that I really, really learned is the different commands that you put in to tell you things that you need to know. Because networking in a sense is nothing but troubleshooting. When you get to a situation where you need to troubleshoot, sometimes you may need to put in a command like show IP route to look at a routing table and to see, okay, can I get to that network 2-3 hops away? And a lot of times if you don't have that in your routing table, it lets you know, okay, maybe I need to create a static route to get us there, put in a different routing protocol to, get that going that way. So it is very fulfilling, but one thing about networking is it is constantly evolving. Like last year, I started reading like routing and switching, and this is before I realized that it was combined to be like CCNP. And I'm reading things, and I'm like, okay, this is a lot. And then when I realized or I found out that they combined it to CCNP, Chapter 1 basically had everything in that. Mm-hmm. Like, we're going to condense all this, put this in here so you can hit the ground running. Yeah. And one of the things about it is, in my journey, what I've understood is that even when I feel like I've wasted some time or I'm behind or this or that, a lot of times I'm right back where I need to be. Yeah. That's one of the crazy things about networking, because you have so many protocols, you have so many different ways to construct different type of networks, wide area networks, local area networks, stuff like that. Yeah. You may use serial cables in this situation, you may use fiber optics in another situation. You may have a situation where a company inherits another company. Mm-hmm. So we have ways of network address translation, because these companies are basically using the same network while that transition is happening. So, one thing I tell a lot of young people is go into networking, because you can go into cybersecurity, you can go into AI, you can go into machine learning, you can go into all those different venues. Mm-hmm. But one of the things that's great to have on your resume is knowing networking, because at some point in those ventures, you're going to have to reference a network protocol or network technique or something like that. So it's better to go through it first, mm-hmm, before you go into that concentration, than it is to go into that concentration and be like, okay, now I got to learn networking. It's so much easier because you just understand things. You understand things in different ways and scales that apply to them. A lot of engineers and a lot of companies, they have people there to execute things, but when they have that person that knows networking, he is so much more valuable and integral to that company as far as cybersecurity, as far as like AI, like I said before, machine learning, keeping that type of data private, keeping that data secure. Integrity is so important with networking. People are giving you their information, their birthdays, their social security numbers. You have to take a sense of pride to make sure that those people, that their information is secure, that they can't be easily hacked, things like that. So that's one of the things that I'm learning about it. It is ever changing. I feel like as soon as I get to the brink of learning it, Cisco is going to come out with something new, and then we reference it and we just continue to build it. Because one of the good things that I like about Cisco, they have these things called RFCs, and it's called a request for comment. And what it has is they may say that we have a protocol, which is like Spanish tree protocol, and it may be a RFC. And then you learn about the different techniques of Spanish tree protocol. But then they may come out with something that say we have multiple Spanish tree protocol, and that has a different request for comment because between Spanish tree protocol and multiple Spanish tree protocol, Cisco were able to see like faults in what could happen, transferring packets, making sure we can understand the switches, this and that, preventing loops from happening, making sure we have adequate amount of redundancy. So, and I'm not the best expert at these things. I just go off with my journey.
You so something, bro. But
I tell a lot of young people. To go off into that. To just learn it, to understand it. I mean, network occurring right now with the microphones, the videos, the audios, the packets that we send over the internet, the gigabyte speeds, all of those different things. So it is one of those things that you use it more than you think you do. So it's something that I tell a lot of young people to go into it because a lot of the infrastructure, a lot of the jobs that we have going into the future requires you to have some sort of networking experience.
And I feel like that's kind of like with the world transitioning into. Because if you notice from the era that we grew up, it wasn't as much technology. There was
not as much. We were like the last frontier of not having the internet into being integrated into the internet.
Yeah.
And as far-fetched as it seems, you see from an outside standpoint the different generations and how they were accepting to the internet. You know what I'm saying? One of the biggest things were like 2008, the first presidential election that was really using social media to be able to, things that people see now as the norm for elections. This was one of the first things that happened in 2008. Because you had a lot of people, a lot of users of social media that were putting out things that they felt that need to be said about the candidates, talking points, opposing points, pros and cons. You've seen that first type of interaction on a social media, on an internet, on a networking level, as opposed to a traditional, we're at the water cooler at work or we're at the newspaper stand and we're having these conversations with our peers among us about the different things that we like in these candidates and that we don't like in these candidates. So one of the things that we see that is so normal today was launched back then, which has brought it to this. But you can look at it now and be like, hey, that's been 2 decades.
And it has.
And I feel like COVID has pushed a lot of things to part. Like they made things shoot out there. Like such as technology and things like that.
One of the biggest things was Skype. One of the hugest thing was Skype. And now we have like video conferences, all different type of conferences and stuff like that. But like you were saying, when COVID was there, business had to continue, like dialogue had to continue, communication had to continue. So it was like, if we can't all be in the same room like we are right now, what ways can we be able to use technology to utilize our presence in the same domain to be able to continue to get things going? And if you look at it, it was one of the things that was first brought out at like an international level. Like you could have conference calls with countries on the other side of the planet, and everybody was able to be on the same page, convene. discuss the different type of things that they want to have, the aspirations, the goals, and stuff like that.
Yeah.
But like she was saying, when COVID came in, that introduced a different way. And if you look at it, that is kind of like the farther front of streaming and all the very podcast that we're in now. All of these things are kind of derived from COVID and the type of adjustments we had to make in order to be able to still function as a society, as a working community.
And I think it helped. I want to say it helped because it gave people like different revenues to making money. Like people got the Uber Eats and stuff like that. I mean, there's a lot of different things it is to make money, like the home jobs, with the selling the insurance. The networking. The networking is taken out to a higher level, and that's from people that didn't studied it. And then they actually doing it, but you can still do it from home. You don't have to be at a building to go do the networking.
Because I remember
which is
before
right.
COVID, we didn't have the internet. Mama didn't have the internet. I didn't have the internet. Mm-hmm. So when COVID hit, we had to get those things for the kids to go to school.
Yep.
The kids to, what I'm saying, make sure they have
the adequate training, the adequate education. Because one of the things that made, I guess you could say, society as a whole resilient was how we was able to and it took some hits, because nobody knew what they were doing at the time because we didn't know what we were up against.
Yeah.
So a lot of like the educational purposes with the kids, it was a struggle for them to try to adapt because when you're so used to being in a classroom with your peers and you got the teacher and y'all all, it took a lot of time for them to adapt, the younger generations to adapt, but they've done a great job because, the younger generations are always able to take technology and take it to the next level.
Yeah.
They always are able to make us feel like the old person because they know different techniques and different ways to communicate with each other with the latest technology that we're just learning.
Yeah.
So I felt like during that time of COVID when we had to go to streaming and video calls and stuff like that. Now, I would not recommend that on a societal basis to try to teach a kid through a camera, stuff like that.
Yeah.
I will always say that the human interaction is always paramount. Mm-hmm. Like you want to know that when you're asking a question, that the face that they're giving you is letting you know that they either understand or they don't. Mm-hmm. And a lot of times you can't get that through a camera lens,
And shout out to the women that's out here that can't tell time from just the regular digital watch. I seen the video, man. Shout out to them, man. Man, they had the little hand over there with the 2 and the long hand over there with the 6. Look, man, they couldn't even tell that shit.
Like your nieces, they don't even. It's like some things like my 17-year-old, like Dayla, the oldest. She doesn't have any, how can I put this, any life skills. Like, she don't know how to do the things that we knew how to do when we were 17.
Yeah.
She don't know how to make oatmeal. She don't know how to make, she don't know how to do anything.
And I think that it's like David, the Davis, the Kelvin, the Tanja. Man, shout out to Kelvin, Tanja. Shout out to y'all too, bro.
Kelvin used to.
Man, that nigga, he was notorious.
When we fix up sandwich, Kelvin be like, I need. That's how I knew about taxes. That's how I knew about taxes.
The crazy part was he never got the adequate amount of 10%.
It's like 25. Like, bro, it was like 50.
If you're gonna charge, make sure you get the right real estate.
Shout out to Kelvin who
made
us learn about taxes.
Hey, for real. I'm gonna tell you, bro, it was a lot of epic moments, man, that happened over there. Tanja, man, we used to have to scratch her head. So shout out to Tanja, man. She made it a point that you had a certain time whenever the stories was on that you most definitely had to go get up there and scratch your head. So shout out to you, Tanja. Yeah. And even to David, like, bro, David, man, I should have took, that heat from like an early age. Like, man, David, he was in the room all the time. She only come out shit pissed, go fix something.
And that's how Daily is. Daily will not come out that room until she has to go to the bathroom or I'm finished cooking.
Well, you gotta understand, and a lot of parents have to understand. When kids are getting to the teenager stage, a lot of times they have to figure out who they are.
Yeah.
And a lot of times that is a long time.
Yeah.
You can't figure out who you are in a group full of people. A lot of times it takes a lot of self-reflection. It takes a lot of stuff to, you can start to ask yourself, can I do this? Is this who I am? So a lot of times parents will be like, oh, they're so secluded and this and that, but this is part of their life where they're starting to figure out who they are.
Yeah.
I always tell people all the time, and this is something that I learned from Colin Cowherd that be on Fox Sports.
Okay.
And I'm not a parent, and shout out to the parents.
Hey,
Lord knows.
Shout out to David, man.
Yeah,
David said, man, he gonna pull out game on point over here. So if you give us some pussy and you get the motherfucking pull out game, it's on point.
Boy, I give y'all all the credit.
He counting all the strokes. He counting all of them.
Lord have mercy.
He got 96.
One of the things that he always said that kind of always stuck with me is that when your child turns 13, you are no longer a parent. You are like an advisor.
Yeah.
And that's true. Around 13, the kid can start to make their own decisions because at this point, this is where they start to take an introspective look at themselves.
Yeah.
Like I said before, they can't figure this out in a room full of people. A lot of times it takes a lot of like fight or flight. Should I do this? Is this in me? Is this how I feel? Is this my belief? And they kind of grow to figure out who they are and in that type of standpoint. So what I say to a lot of people is, for the youth themselves, you just give them a little bit of grace because it's a difference from the generations that we were in and what we grew up dealing with, So a lot of times when you see them, like, in a room looking at TV, I was looking at The Real World all day. It was on MTV. It was The Real World. It was a marathon.
And I was finna go tap into that one because reality TV during that time had just kicked out, and it was good.
It was the emphasis stage.
Like it was good.
You know,
it was damn good.
It was something that we wasn't used to, but it was like The Real World was like one of the first reality TV shows.
Then it came out with Roll Rules,
and then they came out with all the other ones. So me, I'm like a teenager in 2000. Like, well, ain't nothing else to do around here. It's probably raining outside. Let's see what's going on with The Real World.
Yeah, because you didn't have phones and all
You didn't have all that. One of the things about growing up in Natchez, I guarantee you this, as a child, you thought about ways not to be bored. Like, I thought about the cell phone. It wasn't called a cell phone. It was like, if I could have something where I could watch TV all day and do this and be able to do that, I wouldn't be bored. And, lo and behold, 20 years later, They came out with everything that we thought about, but that was one of the things about technology. Like I said before, reality TV came in, cell phones came in, and now we can shoot videos and podcasts on cell phones now, and movies on cell phones.
Shout out to shooting this shit podcast. Been for 1,000 years. We got this, but like, man, that's when it's like that era right there, man. That was an epic era, man. And in our times that. It kind of catapulted us to kind of like be appreciative of that because like right now, I mean, it's good now, don't get me wrong, but that right there, it meant something. It meant a whole lot.
It's great to have, it's great to be able to have the best of both worlds with technology.
Yeah.
And you can't fault the younger generations that grew up with it because that's like, we grew up with certain things that our predecessors didn't grow up with us, certain shows, cartoons, learning aspects, stuff like that. But it's great to be able to see the younger generation be able to take technology and use it to their will, to express themselves, to protest certain things, to be able to put information out there for people. We always look at the next generation to catapult us as a society.
Yeah.
So, shout out to the younger generations.
Man, that AI generation is crazy.
If you just graduated, shout out to you. Hope that you have, an illustrious career, that you're able to reach those goals that you have because, the younger viewers, they probably watch this podcast. And, you will get more viewers, let them know that, hey, man, we're on the side with y'all. We done been where y'all are, and we just letting y'all know that we ain't the old people telling y'all to get off our lawn, that we understand, we ain't too far-fetched from the realities of what y'all got going on.
But, man, I'm telling you, like, the AI generation right now, man, the way that the AI done transition with this new thing.
Like, that's me and Chris Brown. Like, look at y'all.
She ain't had to pay.
I ain't had to do nothing.
She ain't had to pay the $1,500.
That's me and Chris Brown. Like that's me and him.
And that's crazy because. So really,
you see that right there.
So really, you can in this new AI generation, it's like, man, you can really be anything in this thing. Kind of like social media. Like social media, you can make a social media page, and you can make it be everything that you want it to be, man. But you know, people that know you, they'll know, oh, okay, they ain't really like that. But it's just like the social media.
She can get away with this though.
Yeah, I know.
If she had video, it'd be like you can't tell her nothing.
Yeah,
you know what I'm saying. If she say I paid $1,500, who gonna say no? You didn't.
Mm-hmm.
No,
you know,
look, I can change that background.
You know what I'm saying?
And
so
put me right
that's the thing. If she can make the AI video, she in there. If she can't, then you know she just gotta be like, I paid the $1,500.
Yeah, but I had to go on here and pay the $1,500. He said, "Meet me in the bathroom and feed you a chair."
I don't know if it's really.
Shout out to all these women that's finna get this chair fed because the Usher and the goddamn Chris Brown tour is finna start. It's finna begin. It's about to be a lot of people that's finna lose their they're finna lose their wives during this tour.
Especially if Usher bring them on stage.
Especially because you know Usher, man, he ain't got no filter.
That's like
and we also know Chris Brown.
You got Usher. You know, in that situation, where can she go?
Yeah. Chris Brown go dry hump her.
I can't deal with you. Oh, I'm gonna go to it's Chris Brown.
Chris Brown go dry hump her to death, and Usher gonna be right there on top of both of them, feeding them chairs,
trading places.
Yeah, that's it. You know, so. They might as well add Trey Songz to the whole thing too. You know, he gonna lick him up.
Trey Songz, he's not popular.
But he's still gonna put his mouth on.
I mean, he might put something else on him. Ain't his mouth, but you know, one, two.
They may like this may be a 2-man situation.
Yeah,
third man may make the situation a little bit.
Goddamn tour starts.
I don't want to get no lawyers involved.
Right.
And I'm surprised it didn't come with the man that ended up losing the wife with it, man. Like I would have been really upset.
Well, you can't. It's Christopher Maurice Brown. I mean,
not the full government.
Think about it.
Things I did not know.
Wait,
just now.
It's him. You can't sit up there and be like, well, you know, because if the tables were turned and it was somebody, you know, a popular female, you know, person that you want to go see, would have turned that down?
Megan Thee Stallion, Bigfoot, most definitely Sasquatch in the making. I'd turn down a dance.
But you don't like Megan, so if it was a female entertainer that was very popular that you really like,
but you still gotta be married though, so it gotta make sense.
That's the thing.
It still gotta make sense because you gotta be married.
Like you can't risk it all.
I mean, I'm gonna be on her defense because she probably was intoxicated. You don't know what happened. You don't know what happened before.
So you mean every time a woman gets intoxicated, I gotta be more surrounded by who you with?
First of all,
what you about to do?
This is Christopher.
Throw her whole woman away.
Brown.
This
is breezy.
Like the middle name.
This
like
is everything.
Like all your
inhibitions.
That's why they call me Maurice.
Right. It's like, CB. It's C breezy. It's pretty boy. You have to put. You have to.
So it's like every time that you out with somebody.
Okay, who's your favorite entertainer?
As far as a woman, female.
Yeah.
He pondering over there.
I don't know. You know I like all women. Shout out to all women's, man.
That's what I'm saying. That's why.
I love all y'all, man. Shout out to y'all.
I bet you don't know their whole name.
I don't know none of y'all.
First of all, Chris Brown been in the game since I was
shout out to y'all with that ass.
12 or something like that. He was in the game before this.
All women, they all matter. Man. All the women that been on the podcast, all the women that really mean something.
Yeah, we not doing
shout out to y'all, man. Shout out to everybody.
That's family.
Shout out to
that makes the connection more real. Maurice, why you
really
you feel me?
Y'all special.
She look at the TV, Maurice. Calm down for me. There you go. We don't do that. Look, hold on, watch it. We do that when we got a parlay and he ain't hit. You know what I'm saying? Like Jaylen Brown, and Maurice.
It'd be like Jalen Smith. It'd be like Jalen Smith. Jalen Smith Brown, you could get one more shot.
I got 40 on this parlay. Maurice, I need you to make them free throws for me.
And Jalen, man, look, and shout out to him, bro. Whatever you about to go to, man, you about to be the captain of that shit, man. Take it and run with it. We watched Sports Center earlier, man, and they finna part ways with Jaylen Brown and make Tatum just the face of Boston. But it was already going to happen.
It's one of the things. It's inevitable. You know, they won a ring together. and it's about time for them to see which one can win without the other one. That's what the words are saying that people don't want to say out loud. Like, which one of y'all gonna win for the other one?
Who better?
You know, we want y'all to not like each other, even though y'all have respect for each other. But you know, like you say, shout out to them. You know, hopefully they can make that transition a little bit more comfortable than saying, "Hey, we got him for sale." You know, because Boston, they haven't. I'm like, my God, show a little bit of humility and loyalty. They just like, hey, we got Jaylen Brown. You want Jaylen Brown? You know what I'm saying?
It's kind of like the Lakers with LeBron James. We got LeBron. We got LeBron
over here. Retired to his
Nope, he greedy.
He about to finish his retirement to Cleveland.
He may.
He greedy. I feel like he greedy.
You know, he may. You know,
I feel like he'll be greedy.
One the max. I don't know how that's gonna work out. Like I've said before, but you know, somebody will pay him max. It just may not be who he wants it to be. That is the underlying statement right there.
See him going to Cleveland. I also can see him over there with that Miami trade because you know, if you know LeBron James, he love a big super team. He like to be in the middle of it. You know, he want to be a part of it.
And at the same time, it's Miami. I mean, nobody's ever complaining about being shipped to Miami. You know, Damian Lillard tried to make a whole
uproar,
like a trek to get to Miami. Ended up in Milwaukee, not Miami at all. Back in Portland, also not Miami, but you can understand the push to
the reason
get there. You know, like you know, Houston had Sunday Fun Day. I'm pretty sure Miami had Sunday every day around there. You know,
they say Miami is different.
You know,
but most definitely that, man.
Shout out to Miami, I guess. You know,
man. Shoot, they gonna pull that LeBron trade. That's gonna be damn good with that big old team, there, man. That's a huge one. That'd be a huge one, man. I would like to see Jaylen kind of go somewhere that he can kind of build it up. Man, if he could come to Dallas.
You know.
I would love that.
Dallas fan.
I would love for him to come to Dallas Mavericks.
Now, something I was thinking about just now, you know, when you talk about fans and stuff, is when we look at, like, let's say music, in the different genres of music, the different ways that music is being portrayed. You see situations like rap sales at the very lowest. And so then you have to ask the question, are the lyrics these days being dumbed down as opposed to the lyrics back in the day where the art of storytelling, the art of using the different vernacular terms, the art of reading books and understand those different words and having you a thesaurus nearby so you could be able to correlate and explain those different terms and ideologies and bars to people in a way where it could just, you know, excite their mind. And then you look at another situation like Lizzo, she sold like 3,000 records.
Yeah.
You know, so the thing that you ask yourself about the music that comes out, is it sustainable in this society? And why so many artists is not able to get an upward trajectory to retain their fan base? Yep. Now, you know, a lot of times things are beyond the scope of the artists themselves, the record label executives, the radio, you know, stations that they have in their pocket and what they're being pushed to play, as opposed to, you know, back in the day where radio stations would give out tickets to concerts or give, you know, local artists a time to shine. You know what I'm saying? So one of the things that I thought about recently is, in the entertainment business, especially the music business, like where are we going if rap, which is one of the most popular genres of music, is starting to get to a point where the sales are declining? Like, are we losing the message here?
Yeah, I think it is because, you know, nowadays, like I was looking at something on TikTok, it was a guy who was telling people to read off of a note card. And these people couldn't read off of it. Like, it was basic words.
That right there, he'll be like the expose or something like that.
Yeah.
It is very mind-boggling.
Yeah,
you know,
he was like,
and the words would be like rendezvous and stuff like that. You know, and like Harry said, these people will struggle
they were struggling to read words that are very, you know what I'm saying, that are
Common words.
If you read, you know, the process of understanding and retaining the information, you know, you go through the situation where you may be like, well, let me sound it out. You know, not to sound like a trivial kid, but it is very, 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 very useful that people will be like, okay, what does word mean?
Yep.
You know what I'm saying? And like she's saying, if they are struggling to read words like rendezvous and stuff like that, if the artists themselves don't have the type of vernacular where they could articulate different type of words and stuff that people are not used to, all it has the rap game come to a standstill on an intellectual standpoint.
Yeah. And it's like now, you know what I'm saying, you have to take them back to elementary when they used to clap the
syllables.
To understand like what the word. Okay, you have to slow it down. Entertainment.
And this like and it's crazy. And it's like, and I just thought about what he was saying, what Cup was saying. The AI generation, like when we look at things, and I don't mean to sound like a but in the aspect of certain things I do, you know, when we talk about like writing an essay, like I was taught, you know, shout out to Miss West, she taught me at Natchez High School. We was writing essays every day.
Yeah.
You know, we were in class when 9/11 happened. You know, we were writing essays every day, and it would start with an outline.
What was the teacher name that you had that I had as well? She was an English teacher.
Well, we got a whole
Miss O'Quinn.
No, it was
we had like a whole plethora.
It started with an M. She always had that skirt. She was short, light skinned. She was an older lady.
I ain't gonna know this until tomorrow.
I'm telling you, like she, you know, I remember her because she
Miss Mock.
Yeah, I think
that's right. That's what it was. She was an English teacher.
Yeah,
I had it too, man. Shout out to Miss Mock, man. I got your head.
Shout out to you. I think she died.
Shout out to Miss O'Quinn. Shout out to Miss Mock. You know, taught me my syllables and P's and Q's and stuff.
Yeah, she wasn't clean.
Oh, I remember her. That was 8th grade. I remember her.
Because she was wearing them skirts.
She sure was. She wore like the little skirt dresses things, you know.
Shout out to them kids that need a belt on their ass.
You know, but you know, and let shout out to the educators.
Yeah,
you know, they never get enough credit. There are a lot of times where, you know, they may need resources to help get stuff to decorate for their classrooms. Sometimes they put their cash app out. I slide something because, you know, they don't get paid enough. They don't get enough recognition.
Yeah.
And they are the reason why our society, you know, with the kids in the future is what it is. You know, they go out there and they really love doing their job. They're one of the only professions that actually love to do their job. So shout out to the educators. I always shout out to educators.
Yeah.
Society these days is not as educated, and it is very hard on society as a whole. So shout out to the people that go out there that try to teach the youth, you know,
right and wrong.
And then it's like sometimes it's like hard because you have teachers out there that are trying to teach the youth, but it's like it's so much. These kids are not listening.
Well, I'm gonna say this right here: the kids are not listening because it's too many distractions.
Yep.
You know, I sound like a dinosaur. You know, cell phone is too many distractions. But I always say this: it's not all on the teacher.
Yeah.
You know, homework is homework for a reason. You know what I'm saying?
Work at home.
You know, and that's what the parents come in and they make sure that the kid is understanding the homework. That's all it is. Because like if you give out, you know, 3 + 3 and they come back with 5, well, that's not on the teacher at that point. You know what I'm saying? Because the kid said 6 in class. Okay? So it's like, why? How did you get there?
And you know, like I don't even know if teachers do this today, where you have to do your homework at home, and then you have when you bring it to school, they going over it. Why? You know what I'm saying? They're going over the homework. So you have to, you know, answer your questions and things like that in front of the class.
Yeah.
And I don't think they're doing that these days.
And I'll tell them something else. Get the kids, because this is going to go back full circle to what we were just talking about. read aloud in the classroom.
Yeah.
You know, I was excited because I had the confidence that I could articulate the words that I needed to and be able to say it with no problem.
Mm-hmm.
But you know, and they talk about how public speaking is like the number one, like, you know, anxiety thing, scaring people.
It is.
But I say this right here. When you have kids and they read aloud and this and that, that's in a confined group. It shouldn't be no cell phones or nothing like that.
Yeah.
But it allows you to be able to understand what you're saying, sound it out, you know, enunciate if you have to. But the good thing about it is you in this like shared medium of people that you know, and I'm gonna go back full circle with this. When they talk about public speaking, majority of the time they talk about you getting up there talking to some people you don't even know.
Yeah.
You know what I'm saying? And so when you're talking to a bunch of people that you don't know them. You're not connecting with them.
Mm-hmm.
Like if we in recess together, you know, we got this little bond.
Yeah.
You know, so I understand when it's your turn to speak aloud, if you stumble, this and that. It's just like if we playing a game, we basketball, you know, we got each other back. That's why I say bring back reading aloud. Because what you don't want in the third grade is not reading aloud. And then you're on Instagram outside the club and you can't understand the word rendezvous.
Yeah.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah, I take a break.
Oh man, this is fun. This is fun, bro. What you say? I had to switch the batteries on that one. What that time was?
45 minutes.
45. Golly, we ran for 45.
I give it about another 20, and then the mic will go out.
Okay, another 20. Got that timer on the back. Bro, this shit right here was fun. It brought back, man. It brought back old memories, man. It's just new development with old memories. Grandmother be born. They want some candy. Shit. I got a couple pieces of candy up there. They go outside and get it. Shit.
I hope all that shit that they doing ain't.
Man, you know that shit gonna be in there. Slamming the door.
Bruh.
Oh, that shit gonna be in there.
Pull my belt out.
Look, that's what I thought you about to do. I was about to pull mine out. I was like, yeah, I'm gonna pull mine out. I ain't gonna get it.
Carrie was saying that shit, looking at me like, don't do it.
Cause you was like I could tell you was over there.
He was pissed off. That's why I looked up at him. I'm like, man, bro, you gotta have some manner.
Yeah, good. All right. So, the different nicknames that Mello and Ant have, I just seen Dumb and Dumber. You know, so shout out to Ant, shout out to Mello. Hope they you know, Ant said call us hit and run. You know, so it's like, you know, they all in it too, but you know, shout out to them. Hope they have some success.
Yeah.
Hope their tandem is great, you know, especially in the postseason. I just want to get that out there. You know.
So like as far as future, man, what we can what's in store with you with like the networking and just kind of like
networking. One of the things with that is I want to get my CCNP, but when you learn the networking, my biggest thing is retention. And a lot of retention comes from putting the codes in, putting the commands in, and stuff like that. So one of the biggest things that I want to do in the future with networking is put enough work in to where, like, I have a configuration binder that I put if I create, you know, networks, do different routing protocols, stuff like that.
Yeah.
I have, you know, protocols in the binder for it, you know, once I need that, I can always revert back to it. But a lot of the stuff that I want to make sure I have is just retention.
Yeah.
You know, and like I say, in the future, I would like to be a network engineer. You know, data centers don't really have good PR right now. But, you know, to work with a company to be able to, you know, employ certain things. I listen to a lot of people on YouTube. Shout out to Kevin Wallace. This dude is like an emeritus. That's like one of the things you don't have to recertify.
Mm-hmm.
That is one thing I would love to have in the future, to where I put enough work in to where I don't have to recertify for Cisco different certifications. So that's one of my like long-term, like 5 to 6, 7 year goals that I want to have. But like I said before, I employ a lot of young people. Please get off into networking. Everything is going around it. Like I said before, AI. machine learning, those type of things. They all revolve around networking. So just go up into it and then find your niche that you like.
Find
Find your niche, But I tell them all the time, I'm not an ambassador of Cisco, but they have a networking academy, kind of put you on game from the beginning, to kind of let you know how stuff goes. But I tell a lot of kids, a lot of youth, a lot of, kids that look like us to go down those avenues. Like if you want to be a basketball player, that's fine, but dabble a little bit in that. You can be multi-resourceful. You don't have to say it's a backup plan. You got a lot of basketball players that say, I play basketball, I do this. You know what I'm saying?
Yeah.
So that's one of the things you always need that. And you don't want to pressure them to make it seem like, oh, it's backup, but you always want people to be like multi-talented.
Yeah.
As a society, we should always push for people to be multi-talented, to be able to do more than one thing, to be resourceful, because that helps out in so many ways. You know what I'm saying?
And the
you
more
got
you
somebody that can cook, they know networking, they know how to do this, they know how to fix a car. Those type of things are helpful to society as a whole. You never want to be a one-trick pony. And in society,
shout out to Christopher Maurice Brown.
See, there she goes. Speaking of ponies, so
we get back there.
Yeah, so you never want to be just a one-trick pony in a situation. And I talk to a lot of the young, the youth out there. Be resourceful, be resourceful. Be versatile and stuff like that. But that's one of my long-term goals with networking is to be an emeritus. But I gotta put the work in.
So, like, let's say we got somebody that's in the youth that's interested in kind of networking. Like, what's kind of the limit or like the time that you would have to put into it, or you think that's good?
A lot of it is based upon them.
Yeah,
it's an individual thing.
Yeah,
like you have to ask yourself, do I know this information to the point where I can go up in this setting and make this happen, perform, execute these commands, make this happen, troubleshoot these situations? In some points I can, in some points I can't.
Yeah.
If you can't, that is like one of the things to let you know to dig off into networking a little bit more to make sure that you're comfortable when presented with a problem. Because when you're the person who is the troubleshooter, all you deal with is problems.
Yeah.
That's all you deal with is problems. So it's best to be able to say, okay, I've dealt with this before. I've had this before. So I would tell people that if they're going into it, to take your time to make sure that you understand what you're doing and understand that what you're learning now is not going to be the same thing 3-4 years from now. Yeah. Things like I say, requests for comments come up. People come up and they say, well, hey, this is a flaw with this protocol. Things get changed. New things come out. Sometimes things are legacy. Yeah. Sometimes, hey, you didn't make it to this part because this is a fault that constricts you from helping us run more efficient. And in networking, the biggest thing is efficiency. At the end of the day, is getting this packet from the center to the destination. And everything in between, from routing protocols and all that constitutes to the efficiency of it. Bandwidth, latency, delay, stuff like that. It all contributes to, those things. So, just making sure that you have the rapport with networking itself to be like, majority of the time comfortable in any setting with anything that needs to be troubleshooted. If I could be a support technician, somebody call me right now and say, hey, this is not happening or this is happening, I could walk them through
it.
Yeah. So that's my goal. My goal is always trying to set myself up to be overly integrated in a situation than to be like, oh, well, I don't understand that fully. There's nothing wrong with not understanding it. But when we talk about when you're ready to leap off the porch, that's when, like Kobe always said, the more confidence you have is from practice.
Yeah.
Kobe always say you get your confidence from practice. You don't get your confidence from shooting a game, winning a shot.
Yeah.
You've done that 1,000 times in practice. The only thing is it happened in real time with everybody else. You make that shot 1,000 times in your backyard. You know what I'm saying? So it's just putting that work into it and understanding it and just trying to build upon that with my knowledge of that. Sometimes it's good, sometimes it can be frustrating, but I haven't had a time in a long time where I've been stumped. And that's one of the things that I like. Eventually, I'm going to figure it out. You know what I'm saying? And that gives me confidence by saying, okay, well, you remember, you're retaining this information.
Mm-hmm.
So, yeah.
All right, and that's a good thing. So if anybody kind of interested in networking, man, go get into it, man. I promise you. And if you feel like you can't go no further, man, stick with it. Stick with it. It's a plan. It's an overall objective. It's just like buying a DC pack when you playing a video game. Y'all do that. It's gonna always keep upgrading. It's gonna keep it's gonna keep elevating. Really. So
now, something I wanted to ask my sister Carrie.
Yeah.
And it's one of the things that it was a little trending topic on Twitter.
Mm-hmm.
You know what I'm saying? But it could have just been a little trending topic on Twitter. But they had a young lady and she had like the little tank top and she had the jorts on, like the jean shorts. And so is that the staple for the summertime look? Or it's like your jean shorts. Or women going away from the sundresses? Is that
the jorts?
It's like the jorts. They were wearing them. She had like some Timberlands. Looked like she was ready to stand down on something.
Oh, you talking about
like the jean shorts.
John Cena's.
Like
the
John Cena's. The jorts. Shout out to John Cena.
Is it going away from the sundress? Is sundresses out?
It's probably because.
Is it a young people thing? Maybe?
The aesthetic, like I guess cause me, I think like if you that's what you wear.
Okay, that possibly, the dominant one in the relationship.
Yeah.
Maybe got, the sundress over there. We didn't think about that. But fashion is like alcohol. Every summer there's a different drink that everybody flocks to. Tequila, Hennessy, maybe jorts over sundresses. I don't know. I was just asking.
So sundress season is done.
I haven't seen the sundress yet.
That's what I was just getting to. That's where I was just getting to.
I haven't seen any sundresses.
That's what I was getting to.
I haven't seen none.
I used to see the ass. Used to be a lot of ass.
About $7. It's not like
used to be a lot of ass.
It's not like it's like.
Seen some sundresses?
I ain't even seen them asses like I seen them when I first came down here.
That must be rare. Like when you see an animal that you've never seen before, that must be rare or something.
I mean, we almost.
They must come out in the morning times or something.
Sundress used to kick off in March. It actually used to kick off in March. Like March, you used to see the no draws going.
You know what I'm saying?
But like I haven't seen none.
Some tickets don't nobody want to put on no shit that's hot.
Exactly.
But then it's like this already July. Like
exactly. See, now y'all both on the same because it's not like it's like Memorial Day.
If it was Memorial Day, like
we're
you
not
still got
at like the end of May. And if you be honest, the end of May would really be sundress season.
Yeah.
That it's kind of like
ladies,
you go.
You watching this podcast? Where's the sundress?
Are you wearing jorts? That's what I want to know. Or do you have Timberlands at home? Looking like John Cena? Is that the look?
Yeah, accident and pissed me the fuck off because I forgot about the goddamn sundresses.
And it's almost over with. I can be the phone.
See, I ain't finna be able to entertain it. I mean, I can't even have fun with it because if we just kick out the 4th
of July next week now, if you ain't got like no sundresses. A lot of
females that are wearing the exercising gear.
Maybe it is the athletic.
Athletic gear. You see them with the shorts with the scrunch butt.
Shout out to the women that want to be in the athletic gear. Sometimes maybe that's Now we was riding around earlier and I seen some running. It was hot outside.
And it was.
Can't run in the sundress. All I'm just saying is if you go to brunch or you wear athletic leisure wear.
I want this part right here in goddamn real. I don't know where the hell sundress is at, but y'all need to bring these motherfuckers
back out.
Bring them back out. They might be in the closet. They might be in the bottom of the drawer. You might got them in a basket. You might got them in a bag.
Fashion Nova.
A TikTok shop has a lot of clothes.
Maybe I forgot about them. But bring
back
these
the
goddamn
sundresses.
sundresses out, and please leave.
We got like 2 more months
in the
summer.
drawer.
Now,
Where the
September,
drawer's
October,
supposed to
that ain't
be.
really summer, but summertime,
Yeah.
bring them back out.
Is we talking about our race or just in general?
We kind of like in the
Oh no, I've
same-
seen some flat asses,
You
with
know.
some damn sundresses, but I ain't seen the big asses.
The white people, I know they still wearing.
Oh, okay.
Yeah.
I've seen some flat asses in them.
So they showing up. So I guess the question is, where is everybody else at?
See, but and then it might be why that the other people just decided not to wear the
We
sundress.
just seen the girl.
Yeah, I mean,
it's not
this
critical,
is
like
the
the
World
word.
Cup. Okay, let's just be honest. The World Cup is going on
See,
right
I
now.
don't want to wear no sundress in the World Cup.
No, what I'm saying is this. This is the World Cup. So people from all over the world is competing. Where's the competition with the sundress?
Yeah.
That's what I'm saying.
I don't know, like, because I haven't seen, like I said, I don't even see the sundresses in the stores. Like, I don't even see them there. So it's like,
And I know we
canceled it, you know?
I know
Have
we
we
been.
canceled it?
I know we
This-
been,
this
and we
summer?
on sundresses. But I'm just
Is
saying,
anybody going on strike?
tomorrow is Friday.
I feel like they're going on strike. I feel like the ladies are going on strike.
You know.
I think they are.
And they be the guys that make them feel uncomfortable as hell. Hey,
Yeah,
girl,
that's
what's your number is?
Huh.
No.
Yeah.
Yeah, come over here. Put that
I ain't
ass
gonna lie.
over here.
If she got a
You all
moo-moo,
yeah.
If she got a moo and it's moo-mooing, move.
Yeah.
You know what I'm saying? Move.
Hey, girl. Yeah.
Hey, neighbor. Move.
Yeah.
Oh, man.
Shout out to all the
We
neighbors
just
out
saying
here.
the same thing for the sundress season.
Yeah.
You know what I'm
Yeah.
saying?
So it's like I said, I haven't seen any. I haven't seen nobody talk about them. Nothing.
You know, if you want to work out, that's fine. Like, 3 p.m.,
Mm-hmm.
11 a.m., 12 p.m.
Yeah. Sundress, you can still sundress in the morning, though.
Come through.
Like, yeah. Sundress
Yeah.
early in the morning. You can sundress early in the morning while you making groceries,
But
around
see,
that time.
I don't think people having cookouts like they used to have. That's when the sundresses come out. When they have
Yeah,
like
sundresses
cookouts
do.
and they have like big events. I feel like I'm talking loud, but they have like big events and stuff like that, and the women come out.
4th of
they
July
sundress
is
with
next
the toes out with the white toes.
You were making a compelling point. 4th of July, is next week. Some people, they celebrate Juneteenth, 4th of July. It's grilling. That's the point I'm making right there.
Mm-hmm.
It's grilling season. So what is grilling season without sundress?
Yeah.
Now, on top of that, we got to put this out there. If I'm grilling, okay, Miss Sundress, guess who's making the sides? You feel me? That's why you got the sundress on.
And then you can make it real slow.
You gracefully walking around the kitchen, making potato salads.
Oops.
Green beans, stuff like that. If you come to the pit and I got like a drumstick and a slice of bread, there you go.
Let me stir this macaroni real slow.
Everything I've been saying tonight
all that
is
shit.
full circle.
I mean,
You
stirring
feel
it
me?
real slow.
Full circle. 360.
Yep.
Don't come to the pit with no pan.
See, I like
and
to see
no
the
jorts
women.
on.
I like to see the women in sundresses that have pixie cuts.
Shout out to the women with sundresses that got the
With
goddamn
the pixie cuts.
man. Shout out to y'all.
When I say, and it's like it's just.
They are the most relatable women in the world. You know what
And
I'm
then
saying?
they have the little sandals and the little jewelry.
She
with the
made
net,
the potato salad, the macaroni and cheese,
the baked beans.
baked beans.
She popped the
She
squat.
did all that before 2 p.m.
Yeah.
You know what I'm saying? She going around the house asking people, "Do you need a little bit more in your cup?"
And then shout out to the ones that cook. But we gotta give y'all a shout out too,
That's
man.
why
Because
I
there's a lot
put
of
it
women
out
that's out here that
That's
don't
why
even know
I
how to
said,
cook,
guess
man.
what you're doing? You gotta make the side. See, we are talking about society being cohesive.
Yeah.
It's the summertime. You know what I'm saying?
If I'm grilling chicken.
If it's delegation of activities and responsibilities. You know what I'm saying? I'm marinating, I'm grilling. I could go in there and make the side, but that's not the point.
I just want
That's
to
y'all
see.
domain.
Yep.
You get your little red wine and little arbor mist. It's the best potato salad we ever had.
What you said you need a pen?
Exactly.
Like, yeah, I love to hear that. What you say you need a pen?
You see what I'm saying?
You got the sundress on. What you want? The big pan, little pan? You go home, you got the cleavage.
Don't
busting
go,
all out the sundress.
Don't go to your man with a pan and you got jorts on.
Mm-hmm. Yeah.
He don't feel motivated enough to be like,
yeah,
let me slide you. He gonna be like, babe, go put the sundress on.
Mm-hmm. Put the sundress on. With the low
I know you feel
top.
that breeze.
Yeah.
You got the jorts, you all starched down. They got the crease in the front. We don't need that.
We don't want that.
We
want
say
to
that
see
for
the sundress.
September.
Football.
You know what I'm saying? Say that for
Titties
football
going
season.
left and right.
Put your football
What you say
jersey
you want a bigger
on.
pain? Like I like that. What you say? And she look up at the real side. What you want a bigger pain?
You know,
like I
shout
want to
out
hear.
to the cohesive people next week that's gonna know their delegation.
Yeah.
You know, he grills, she makes the sides, she may grill, he may make the sides. You know, just let everybody know they separation. Say, you know, they huddle up and they say break, and then they go their ways, and then you know they got good food, good drinks, and a good time for the fourth. You know,
Most definitely good drinks. Everybody gotta have a good drink. But like any plans, any special plans, 4th of July, and special plans like coming up. Well, we know we got the birthday, dual birthday. Kara said she's doing what you doing for your birthday?
I want to go to Destin.
So Destin is Kara plans to go to Destin. David, what you got planned, man?
We gonna mess around and do some go-kart. You know what I'm saying? They got the Andretti go-kart thing in Katy, Texas. You know,
Katy.
And one of the things about it is indoors. You know, kind of like we indoors.
Mm-hmm.
You know, we ain't doing a go-kart outside. We be sweating. I ain't doing all that sweat. You know, too like that. But we're gonna do it indoors. You know, and then we'll probably leave from there and probably hit up somebody's establishment. And then after that, I'm probably gonna, you know, go my direction. That's about it.
Well, that sounds like some good plans right there, man. But it was good. It was good to sit down with y'all, man. I feel like this was.
You have any shout outs?
Man, I want to shout y'all out. You know, we want to shout out Karen, want to shout out Cup, want to shout out just the cameraman and everything.
H4K in the building.
You know what I'm saying? He don't
get
get enough credit.
He's like he about to blow a
He
few
don't
people
get
up here.
enough credit, okay? The person behind the scenes are always the person that is mostly reliable. He's the reason why he's like Quincy Jones right here.
Yeah.
So,
Look, y'all should see him. He just calling all over everywhere.
You know,
man.
he makes like
a goddamn spider.
Like, you know when they say, let the drama get some, let the drama get some. So I like to shout out this podcast because, like I said, we want to do something back in February, we wasn't able to.
Yeah.
And it has been an honor of mine to be able to be blessed with this group of people that have put on this stuff for about a year now, man.
Yeah. Shout out, man. Round of applause.
Pop your shit. Pop your
man.
shit, bro.
That
is success right there, you know. And so just to see these individuals that I've seen grow up and find these different avenues that they are going through and finding new ways to reinvent themselves, it's a beautiful thing. So I just want to shout out the podcast, man. You know what I'm saying? Continue getting the co-following, continue getting new followers, continue touching on different other subjects to get you those followers. But man, the setup was beautiful. The conversation was nice. We did a lot of recollecting and stuff like that. Yeah. So shout out to Shooting Shit. You know what I'm saying? Shout out to Shooting Shit.
Shout out to us, man.
Hey.
All right, you guys. That is another episode of Shooting Shit. Make sure you guys like, share, and subscribe, and we will see you next episode. Again, this is CC. We got J Cup over there, Ace behind the camera, and our special guest, our big brother, David. Y'all enjoy. Hope you guys have a great 4th of July, and we'll see you on next episode of Shooting Shit.
Shooting Shit.